Hello everyone. So today I'm going to share some Python related exercises and some of the uh, Python related knowledge that would be really useful if you are planning to work with data sets like this. This is a typical use case that you'd see in most of the exploratory data analysis or data applications that you would work with probably a list, and you would want to find some information from that list, and you would want to get some analytics out of that list. So here, as you see, this is a list of a list with uh, with with just an exploratory information, like for example the name, and let's say this is a list of a list with the name of the person who had went into a restaurant, and the item that they had eaten and their bill. So if you could see, there would be multiple items for a person would have ordered multiple items, and some people would have ordered just one item. So this is a list with bill items, and we would want to find information on, let's say, uh, taking an example from this list. Let's say Tom. What's the highest highest item, highest bill item for that person, or maybe what's the grand total that he would need to pay, uh, or let's say Claire, uh, what's the highest well, what's the highest amount of the item that she had eaten, what's the highest bill amount for an item she had eaten, and what are the number of items that she had eaten, and what's the total bill amount. So these are some of the analytics we would want to find out from this simple list of lists. So as you'd see, I'm just going over the items, and I'm just printing the numbers. I'm creating a data structure. This is a typical use case. Let's say um, the key is the name of the person, and the value would be a tuple that would have the name of the item that they had eaten, and uh, the respective amount, respective bill amount that they have to pay, or maybe the amount of that particular item that they had eaten. So this is a typical use case that you're going to uh, iterate the list and just get the items, name, food, and price, and then probably have a dictionary and have the name of the person as a key, and add their details. Let's say create a tuple here. So this is using the get method, and this would return a default empty list. So suppose if I'm adding Tom for the first time, I would create this entry in the dictionary and then add the two values. And yeah, so this is actually what that is happening here. It's simple. So we are just creating a dictionary and adding these items. So this can be done using default dictionary as well. So if you want to have this in a more simple way, maybe you can just import the default dictionary. Um, that's a Python module to have these two lines of code into one. And let's say I'm trying to find information for Tom. So I'm just printing the bill details. As you see, it's a dictionary with the items, and I'm just trying to find the bill details for Tom. Let's say I just get that particular key, which is the name of the person, and then I try to find the sum of the items, some of the price of the items that they had. So here, calamari and American hot chocolate and chocolate fudge cake. So that would add these three items: 4.45, 11.5, and 6.0. And you would want to see that in the result. So what's the total? So uh, this would compute that results, and it would print to us. So bear with me on my interpreter. So it's taking time. So yeah, here it's 21.25, which is correct. So, and the items that they had eaten would be calamari and American hot chocolate, I presume, and fudge cake. So yeah, so we are printing those items, and we are printing the total. uh, so how I'm doing that? So once I get the item, once I get the name, right? So what would be the result of this price? So this would be a this would be essentially the uh, list of items that they would want to have, that they had already. So so this would have a list of tuples with the amount and the name of the item that they had. So uh, what I have here is just uh, two items essentially in a tuple. So the first item is the amount and the second item is the uh, is the dish they had. So I'm just extracting the first item from this list, and I'm just giving it to a sum. So uh, I'm just essentially optimizing this piece of code. For example, usually it would be, let's say, it would be from for uh, item 1, item 0. So let's say I'm let's say I'm getting the price of 0 in price. So this would be the item, and I would be iterating over the items, and I would just get the first variable, which is the price, and I would have another variable as price as 0, uh, and I try to compute the items, uh, price plus equal to, and then finally we get the computation of the price. So I wanted to avoid this, so we are calling the sum method, and we are getting the variables. So finally we are once we get that, the next is to get the second item, which is to find the dish that they had. So I'm just joining it again, same principle. So I'm creating a list, and I'm joining that list with the join method with space. So you're seeing the result. So this is how we would want to do for each people, if they would want to, if we would want to find the uh, number of items that they had, and the price of each item. So there's another way to do this. This is okay, but while you're designing an application, so you would want to store this as a data structure like this. You see, instead of having a dictionary, I'm having a class, and the class would have each class would have the name. So each object of that particular class would have a name. So personal bill, for consider this bill item is a personal bill, and it would have name and price and the items that they had, and you can add the items. It would have an add method to add the item that they had, let's say a dish and its price. And if I call a method called total, it will return the total price, and also the items that they ate. So that would be a separate list. Uh, so it's if you think about it, so it would be easier to compute through uh, this, because the code looks really easy than having a dictionary. Let's say if you want to add a future functionality to see, if you want to have delete an item from their bill. Let's say uh, it had been added, um, uh, the item had been added to their bill wrongly, and they want to erase it. So we would want to have that functionality later as well. So for now I'm just adding the pass keyword, but then what if you would want to add that? It's going to get clumsy with a dictionary, but then with a class it's going to be really real easy. And then you can just get the name, as a parameter instead of hard coding it. Let's say if it's coming from a different method and uh, you would want to add that particular variable to this condition, so you can easily do that. So this is how you would create different builds, personal build for, let's say, Tom, a personal build for Claire, and each object would have information of that particular user. So um, and finally you would uh, just get the respective methods. Let's say uh, for bill items, okay, for the person's name, I'm going to iterate over the object and just get the details from that object, let's say Tom, and the amount that they had and the items that they had, through using these methods instead of uh, using this dictionary and compute the items. So it's going to be easier, and it's easier to format, add more methods, and it's easier to add more complex functionality, and it's easier to extend as well. That's the whole point of object-oriented programming. So yeah, um, so this is what I wanted to share. So as you see, we have the results that we want. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.